All right, everyone. So we're reading here from WrestlingNews.co. This is what they tweeted out first. Scott Steiner is going to be in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week. When asked about the prospect, we're reading from the article now. When asked about the prospect of both sons joining the wrestling giant, Steiner was cautiously optimistic. I'm not sure. They both loved it when they were kids. And when I wrestled, all of a sudden, when I stopped, they really didn't pay attention to it too much. So I don't know. Scott continued. Well, the thing that came about with Brock, because Brock, Brandon, and Bronson, Braun Breaker, and there's a couple of other guys get in sometimes. Brandon's basketball friends or Bronson's other guys at wrestling, they'll play video games. So with Brock talking to Bronson all the time, and of course he's on a trajectory that's unbelievable. He talks to Bronson, talks to Brock, then one thing led to another, and he got the bug. He went out, he wanted to do it. Steiner pointed to the current state of professional wrestling as a great time to be involved in the business. There's not a better time to be wrestling because WWE is doing phenomenal. Then you have AEW, so it's always good to have competition. So I never really wanted them to get onto wrestling, but I let them do what they want to do. Okay. So this is pretty cool, right? You know, if Steiner actually can do something at WrestleMania with Braun, with others. Um, and I think this is one of the beauties of what we're getting now is because WWE is at a point now where you don't just have what you had in the old days, which is like you have a star and he was the son or the related to in some fashion of somebody from kind of the territory days, right? Which you saw a lot of, and even that was special, right? To see the kind of multiple generations of this thing. But now what we get is we get like people that we actually remember wrestling, their relatives. Like, you have the bloodline, right? And here's relatives of Yokozuna and Rikishi and all these different people. And it's like, oh my God, it's so cool, right? We're seeing this in real time right now. And so I would love to see Scott Steiner and his brother even getting involved with something, showing up at WrestleMania. Those are the moments that it appeals to at least, I guess my generation and even older generations of people to get these legends back, and I think that's one of the things WWE is hitting out of the park right now is a lot of times you're like the Attitude Era, right? This is clearly not something for kids, right? This is something for, WWE would say over the age of 18. Now, obviously, there was a lot of people under 18 who were watching WWE during that time. But nowadays, they're not really picking one audience that they're going for. They're kind of giving a little bit to everybody. They're making it so that it's to a point where parents feel comfortable letting their kids watch wrestling. They're not completely PG and not saying anything naughty or having any weird characters. They're still giving that for kind of these older generations. And when you bring someone like Scott Steiner back, and they haven't done it yet, but if they decide to, that'd be cool, right? That is like an appeal to the older generation and showcasing, for the newer generation, what wrestling, people who were involved with wrestling previously. I remember when I was a kid, I would be buying the little figurines, watching the old VHS tapes on Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and the Road Warriors and all these different people. And now, even though I didn't grow up watching them, I feel like I did. I feel like I have great love for a lot of that because I've watched so much of the stuff they did. And I hope that's what we get to see from this newer generation of wrestling fans too, where, they may have not watched some of these guys growing up, but they now understand them. They now get to see them because they watched all this footage and have seen them on WWE TV. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.